You are entering a safe space. Please take a moment to center yourself and allow every thought, worry, and care to fall away right now. Focus on taking deep breaths and allow yourself to feel the healing freedom that is waiting to be ignited within you. Welcome to the Loud Whisper Reignite Your Voice podcast. This is your healing space, providing you with hope and inspiration as you become more connected to yourself. Your safe vessel, helping you move to a higher consciousness to reignite your voice and discover who you are destined to be really inside you. I am Isabel Draughon, your host. I am also an author, entrepreneur, and a life transformation and spiritual coach. Most importantly, I am a perpetual student of life, just like you. So let's explore together. Claim what is already inside you. Welcome to the Loud Whisper Reignite Your Voice podcast. This is your healing space, your health and wellness podcast where we talk about all humanity, mind, body, and spirit. I am your host, Isabel Draughon. I first want to say thank you so much for joining me today. And if you've not subscribed to the podcast, please do so. Please share with your friends so that they can subscribe and join us on this journey of self-discovery, healing, and really becoming the best version of ourselves. I'm excited about the topic that I'm speaking about today. This is something that I talk about a lot. Solely, I would say this podcast will resonate a lot more with women because it is talking about being a strong woman. And the reason why I want to have this conversation is because when I'm doing my speaking, doing my workshops, my talks, I talk about how I no longer wear the strong woman cape. I no longer subscribe to that badge of honor. And I've been getting a lot of messages, especially last year, people asking me, why is it that you do not subscribe to the strong woman cape? You don't want to be considered a strong woman. Here is the deal. I'm going to do a deep dive and just really have an open, vulnerable, honest conversation with you guys as to why I no longer subscribe to the strong woman cape or walk around with that badge of honor. One of the reasons why I no longer subscribe to that is because I had my child at a very young age, and I think some of you have heard this story before. I'm originally from Tanzania and Zambia. This is east and southern part of Africa. I moved to America at a very young age. I came for education. I found myself in a peculiar situation, and I got pregnant. Okay? I was 19 years old, 19 turning 20 when I had my son. I got pregnant. I was 8,000 miles away from home, about to become a mother who needed her own mother. But I was so fortunate to be surrounded by a lot of peers that a lot of us, we came here from Africa for an education. People coming from all sorts of different places, but most of the people came from Tanzania. And I was fortunate enough to be able to have that community that helped me really when I had my son. But here is one of the reasons why I no longer subscribe to the strong woman cape. First of all, I want to make sure that you understand this. I know I am a strong woman, and I know women are very strong, but the only difference with me now is my strength, right? My strength is my God-given strength. It's the strength that I worked so hard and healed so that I can tap into. And the strength that God-given strength, it is strong. It has humility. It is powerful, courageous, and yet it's vulnerable. So when I tapped into that strength is when I dropped all this society, quote unquote, expectations of what they call to be a strong woman. So anyway, to make a long story short, so I had my child at a very young age, and during that time, I would have to say it was one of my most difficult time in my life. I mean, obviously, I was young, right? Away from home, I'm about to become a mother, and so there was so much going on in my life. But what I noticed is that I was not in the best situation, and a lot of people used to call me strong during that time. They would say, a lot of people call me Bella. They would say, Bella, you're so strong. Bella, you're so strong. Oh my goodness. They called me strong because I was enduring a lot. Besides the fact that I had a child, I was not in the best relationship. That relationship came with, abuse and all the kind of stuff. And a lot of people know about it. So I really have talked about this before. I'm really not going to dive into too deep and continue rehashing that part. So it was not the best situation. So let's put it this way. But let me tell you something. I was strong during that time. But what I realized is what a lot of people didn't know this was they were calling me strong, but actually I needed a lot of help. And a lot of people called me strong because of what I was enduring. And it was easy for me to cover it up. It was easy for me to be strong. It was easy for me to really be able to, survive through what I was going through because of the women that I saw back home. Courageous, powerful, did whatever they could to take care of the family. I mean, these women are from entrepreneurs, they professionals, had their own careers. Some of them are stay-at-home moms. But what I didn't realize then that I know now is what happened to me is when I became pregnant and I was going through my own experience, my own challenges, automatically I started to adapt to that strength that I saw the women at home display, the strength that I got from the environment that I saw, like, oh, these women are so powerful. They're working, they're doing whatever it takes to take care of the family. So naturally then as a young girl, I didn't even know, honestly. I did not know that that's what I was doing. But we all know that you're a product of your environment, right? So automatically, I was doing my thing. Like, I'm young, I'm going to work, I'm not in the best situation, and I have this young boy that I love dearly that I have to take care of, but I also have to say and give kudos to the community. The community around me supported me. So life just kept on going. It was not the easiest thing, but it was so hard. But what was fascinating is that everybody used to say, Bella, you're so strong. I can't believe you're going through this. Bella, you're so strong. I can't believe this is what you are able to endure. Bella, you're so strong. What a lot of them didn't realize is that it's not that I was strong. I was surviving, I needed help. But I couldn't tell anybody that I needed help. How do you tell people you need help when everybody's looking at you like this person who is just mighty and you're strong and you're just overcoming and dealing with all the challenges, and they're looking like, oh my goodness, you just built different. Like we would say now, you're built from a different cloth, but what they didn't know is that I was dying inside. I was dying inside. Them calling me strong was actually keeping me in a cage. Me even walking around acting like I was strong was keeping me in a cage. I was not free at all. But it was the norm for me. It was the norm because I saw the women back home, right, being strong. I saw the women back home surviving. So I didn't even think twice about it. But as my journey continued and I became wise and I was growing and just went through my different experiences, I say to myself, this is not right. And honestly, God is the one that showed me. I'm like, this does not feel right to constantly be in this space, in this space where I am just having to be macho and I have to be strong and I always have to be masculine, and everybody was applauding me for it. And what I found interesting was this, society measures the strength of a man by how much weight they can carry. But ironically, they measure the strength of a woman by how much pain she can endure. I'm going to say that again. Society measures the strength of a man by how much weight they can carry, right? But they measure the strength of a woman by how much pain she can endure. The moment that dropped into my spirit, I was like, boom, something is not right about this. Something is not right about this. So you're trying to tell me the more pain I experience is when society praises me and calls me strong. And a lot of women can relate to this. A lot of women can relate to this. Especially Black women, especially women of color. We have been sold this story, and it's all women in general, but I'm just saying that especially Black women and women of color, we have been sold this story by society. Be a strong woman, be a strong woman, you are a strong woman, right? Be strong. And we're trying to meet these expectations, but it's killing us inside. It's caging us. There is no freedom in constantly wanting to be strong. That's not strength. Strength comes from being vulnerable. Strength comes from saying, I need help. Strength comes from saying, I can't do this by myself. That's where the strength comes from. But society has sold women a bill of goods that says the more pain you endure is when we're going to put you on this pedestal. We're going to give you all these accolades, calling you a strong, powerful woman. It doesn't serve us any good. Let me tell you what being a strong woman did to me. Or rather, let me tell you, living up to society's expectations of what a strong woman looks like, what it did to me. It caged me. It didn't give me freedom. I couldn't be vulnerable. I couldn't ask for help. I couldn't say this is too much. It caged me. It didn't give me freedom. And I was so good at it that I used it to navigate the world. I was so good at, wearing this cape or putting on this mask and acting like I'm strong. I was so good at it. But a lot of people didn't know that I was dying inside. The expectations that the world had of me as a woman, as a young girl, being strong, having a child at a young age, be strong, growing into a young lady, be strong. So all I did was aspire. I gotta be strong. I have to be a strong woman. It's until God just dropped it in my spirit and said, I did not create you to survive. Because the way I was living, I was surviving. I was not living. And God said, I did not create you to survive, my child. I created you to thrive. And that's when I started digging deep and really looking into this strong woman thing. What does it look like? What does it mean for me as a woman? What does it mean for us as women in general? This expectation that society has put on us, that we're all walking around, carrying, toting around like a badge of honor, and we're so proud. But yet, behind closed doors, we're dying inside. Behind closed doors, we're not asking for help. Behind closed doors, we're in so much pain. We're just surviving. And you know what I always say? When you survive, what happens? You cut off your emotions. That's what this expectation that society has put on women of being strong is doing to women. So I told myself, I said, no, I'm not going to subscribe to that. I'm not going to subscribe to that. Because what it did to me, it caged me. I had no freedom, no voice. I couldn't speak my truth. I couldn't even say what was hurting me. I couldn't ask for help. It's not living. I suppressed my voice, and my life consisted of me just, fulfilling everyone else's needs and neglecting my own needs. Man, Just the thought of it, you know, just the thought of it makes me like, wow, I thank God for that deliverance. I thank God that He really showed me that no, I did not create you to survive. And that's why I'm so passionate about this. And that's why I am passionate. And I will sing it to the mountaintop to teach women, to let women know. Don't fall for society's expectations of what it means to be a strong woman. You are already a strong woman. God created you to be strong, but there's a difference, right? God, the higher power, whoever you subscribe to. But there's a difference when you tap into that strength from the higher power. It has humility. It has courage. It comes with love. And most importantly, it does not exhaust you. It does not deplete you. It does not break your body down to the point where we're walking around, a lot of women suffering from autoimmune diseases because you're so strong, you're being strong and you're taking care of everybody else but yourself, because you know what? We've been told. We've been conditioned. We've been sold the story that if you're strong, that's when you're loved. If you're strong, that validates your existence. If you're strong, people won't reject you. People won't neglect you. You know, if you call yourself strong, everybody will love you. That's not true. That's not true. So I'm really passionate about teaching women to let go, to break down and dismantle this myth that society has taught us, this story that you have to be a strong woman constantly. You constantly have to be strong. It is impossible. It's not doable. It's not livable. The only way you could do that is through surviving. That's the only way. And unfortunately, that's what a lot of us women are doing now. We're not living. We are surviving. We are surviving to get to the next day, the next minute, the next second, the next hour. In all we do, we're just surviving. But we were not born to survive. We were born to thrive. And that's why it's important for you to understand that strength you have. I mean, we bring life into this world. Even if you don't bring life into this world, even if you've not brought life into this world, you've not physically given birth, you've nurtured somebody, you've given yourself up to fulfill someone else's needs. You have sacrificed yourself to make sure someone else's needs are taken care of. That's that strength of a woman. That's that God-given strength, the higher power, wherever you subscribe to. We all have it. We all have it, ladies. The only difference is we have to tap into that. And that's why I talk about doing the inner work. I talk about excavating. I talk about unpacking. So you can tap into that strength within you that's so powerful that it doesn't break you, deplete you, or leave you wide open in order for you to exercise your strength. No, it comes with courage and humility. You know, we can no longer subscribe to that because we're not living. We're not living. We're not. We're not living at all. Because those expectations that the more pain you endure, then society gives you that badge to say, great, Isabel. Gosh, you're strong. Right? And yet they measure the strength of a man by how much weight they can carry. But measure the strength of a woman by how much pain you can endure. We have to get away from that. We have to teach these young girls that there's no truth to that. We have to start having honest conversations and start to learn that your strength comes from you being vulnerable. Vulnerability gives you freedom. Society's expectation cages you. You see that? I'll say it again. Vulnerability gives you freedom. Society's expectations of a strength of a woman cages you. A lot of women are living in prison in their own world, in their own life, in their own body, in their own mind, in their own spirit, because you're not operating from a space of truth, a space of who you were created to be. We're living outside of ourselves, surviving. And we were not created to do that. We were not created to do that. It silenced my voice. I didn't have a voice. You would think because people called me strong, I would have a voice. Nah. I didn't even have a voice because I couldn't speak up for myself, right? So I was just displaying the strength on the outside to appease society, to be validated, to be accepted, to be seen. But deep down inside, I was breaking. I was broken, rather. Shattered in pieces. Trying to put the puzzle together, trying to put those pieces together behind closed doors in so much pain. But when I walk out, I'll keep my head up, dust myself off, and just go out there and do the damn thing. And society's like, Bella, you're so strong. So no, that's why I no longer subscribe to that. It's not sustainable. Nobody was born to live that way. It's not sustainable at all. It's leaving a lot of women sick. Our bodies are getting sick. Our minds are getting sick. Our soul. And most importantly, we don't even know who we are because we have to put on this mask every day and act like we're strong when we're hurting inside. When we are screaming to be vulnerable, so somebody can hear you, can see you, can love you, can validate you. But we push that to the side because the environments that we grow in, the society, the conditioning has told us that no. In order to be seen, heard, or validated, you have to be the strong woman. No, those days are gone. And I'm going to sing this on the mountaintop. No. It's reversed, actually, when you think about it. The more vulnerable I become, the stronger I am within myself. And that's my truth. The more vulnerable I become, or the more vulnerable I am stronger within myself. Within myself, I find that I have the courage, I find I have the willpower, the tenacity, the drive to do what my soul desires. But when I was acting, wearing the mask, being an actor in my own life, just to please the world and please everybody else. No, that was hard. That was hard. That was really hard. So I want to encourage you. I want to encourage every woman that's listening today. Every woman that's listening today. Remove your mask. Remove that cape. Put it down. Put down that badge of honor that you constantly have to be walking around here being strong 24/7. It's not doable. It's not sustainable. It's not healthy. It's not conducive. It's not. Let that wall break down. Break that wall down. Be vulnerable. That's where your true strength is. That's where your courage comes from. That's where the true strength, courage, tenacity, and willpower comes from. It's from you being vulnerable. So I really want to encourage you to let go of the need and the desire to always be strong and look strong. Because we all know what's happening inside, deep down inside. We all know. I've lived it. You're slowly dying inside. It's killing you because you're afraid to say, I need help. You're afraid to say, I am not okay. It's killing you. Let go of it. The only way you'll be able to create the life that you desire, the only way you'll truly be able to create the life that you want in this world is for you to go within, for you to really tap in and to let go of this idea, the walls that society has convinced us to build that validates our existence as a woman, as a strong woman. Nuh-uh. No. Remove the mask. Let go of that badge. Remove the cape. And tap into that strength within you. Right? The one that I mentioned earlier. It has power. It comes from the higher power. God sends you that strength, whoever you subscribe to. It's humble, but it's powerful. It's courageous. It has willpower. It's stern. It speaks truth. But it doesn't hurt others. And you have it within you. You have it. So all I want to tell you today is next time when you feel like you're tired of being strong, you are tired of surviving, I give you permission. I give you permission to just lay it down and surrender and say, I need help. I need help. Don't do that to yourself anymore. It's not worth it. I'm seeing too many women living in pain. Too many women suffering from autoimmune diseases. Too many women, our bodies are breaking down. Our minds are breaking down. We don't know who we are. We don't know anything about ourselves. We're busy just playing these roles, these different roles to appease everybody else. And that's why you find that a lot of women, you find after so many years, whether it's in marriage or just even, by themselves, they spend so much time taking care of everybody else. And when everybody leaves, it becomes the and then what situation. That's what I call it. And then what? A lot of women don't know what to do with themselves. It's and then what? They don't know what color they like. They don't know how to love themselves. They don't know what brings them joy. They don't know what makes them happy because they've spent their life being so strong, mighty strong, taking care of everybody else, but neglecting themselves. When you think about it, it doesn't even make sense. Okay, so I'm strong, but I don't take care of myself. You would think if we were strong, the first thing we'll do is take care of ourselves, right? But no, we do the total opposite because it's not a natural state. It's not a natural state for a woman to constantly be in a state of, I'm strong, I'm strong. It's not a natural state. It's not a natural state at all. So I really want to encourage you to sit and really think about this. What does it look like for you to let go of this myth, this notion, this cape of a strong woman? What is it doing to you? You're walking around in so much pain, betraying yourself and sacrificing yourself just to be considered strong by everybody else. And yet when we close the door and we dim the light, you're broken. Like me, shattered glasses, shattered everywhere. And now you have to pick the pieces up and try to put the puzzles together. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes years. Because, when you think about a glass shattering, push, the glasses go everywhere. So it's just being able to find the right piece, just to try to put yourself back together, Trying to find the right piece to put yourself together. It takes a lot. It takes a lot because we've lived in this broken state for so long. It takes a while to come home to yourself. It really does. It really does. So whatever you do, starting this year of 2025, I really offer you this, give you permission for this, to no longer wear that mask of strength, to no longer wear the cape of a strong woman. You don't need it. Everything you need is already within you. When you tap into this, all that goes away. All that goes away. So that's just that's me in a nutshell. So for those of you who are asking, why do you no longer subscribe to the cape as a strong woman? That's it. That's it in a nutshell. It left me broken. It left me caged. There was no freedom. There was no voice. I didn't have a voice. I was surviving and not thriving. And I lived a life of pain 24/7. It is not a natural state for us women to constantly be in this state of strength. We're constantly strong. It's not a natural state. So no, I no longer do that. I no longer subscribe to that. I know my strength. I know my strength. I know where my strength comes from. And everything is in here. The higher power, God gave it to me. It's in here. That's the strength that I use now. That's the strength that I tap into. Yep, that's the strength that I tap into. But as far as society's strength, no. Women are tired of surviving. Women are surviving. We're not living. We're surviving. I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't do it anymore. I love being in this state of vulnerability because it allows me to express myself. It allows me to use my voice. It allows me to listen to that loud whisper, that still voice inside of me that nudges me, that says yes or no, do this or don't do that. I pay attention to that voice now. Before, that voice was foreign. Nobody has time to be listening to that still voice inside of me when I have to be strong out here. That's how I lived my life. But now, no. I love the vulnerability. It allows me to create. It allows me to really be the best version of who I am. It allows me to discover more about myself. And it actually allows me to love people much deeper, because I love myself more. Yeah. I love being in this state. And there's so much strength in vulnerability. Brené Brown talks about that all the time. So much power in it. I actually feel more powerful now that I'm vulnerable than I did when I was not vulnerable, because that type of strength had a lot to do with me acting. I was performing. And then right? So when you're performing, you're living outside of yourself. You're performing, you're essentially an actor in your own life. And I was performing. So it was a body strength. It was a physical strength. It was a kind of strength where you're walking and you're letting people know, I got this and I can do it. But this strength that I have now is totally different. I mean, I'm in love with it. I'm in love with it. It doesn't force me to do anything. It allows me to say I'm tired. It allows me to say I need help. It allows me to ask for forgiveness. It allows me to forgive people. It allows me to become me, It allows me to become who God created me to be. Whatever that looks like for you, but for me, it does. And I love it. I love any minute. So, yep, that's it. That's it. I just thought that I would address this and really share it. I get a lot of messages, and I thought this year, let me talk about this. Why I no longer subscribe to society's expectations of a strong woman. The bottom line is because society measures the strength of a man by how much weight they can carry, and they measure the strength of a woman by how much pain she can endure. And I no longer subscribe to that. I don't. So I hope this resonates with you. I hope it helps you, especially this year. Let's heal. Let's heal, okay? Let go of that notion that you constantly have to be walking around here strong. It's killing you. Mind, body, and spirit. So do yourself a favor and just take good care of yourself. Take good care of yourself. Start healing and come home to yourself. There's so much within you that you haven't discovered and the world hasn't experienced yet. So let go of that armor. Let go of that guard of strong, right? And tap into your vulnerability. That's where your strength is. Okay? And that's it for me for today. I really wanted to share this and just talk about this topic, start of the year, speaking about it, so women can understand where I'm coming from. But please share the podcast for other women to listen. Please subscribe. And make sure you listen to the podcast every Wednesday. There's so much to come this year. A lot more going deeper dive, right, into who we are as people. What does healing look like? Talk about trauma. Talk about finding our voices, finding our leadership voices, That whisper inside of you, that's your leadership voice, because that's the truth of who you are. I'm excited about that. So I hope you really join us every week. And again, thank you so much for listening to the Loud Whisper podcast, because this is your healing space, your health and wellness podcast. Take care. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Loud Whisper Reignite Your Voice podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please be sure to subscribe so that you never miss a conversation. I would also be honored if you would consider leaving a positive rating and review on Apple Podcasts. As always, you can connect with me through the links in the description. Thanks again for listening. We're so glad you could join us today and look forward to supporting you on your greatest journey. Have a great day.